Check the Hockey Australia Club Finder and play, and why wouldn't you after another terrific performance by both our men's and women's team? Mark Knowles is joining me online to talk a little bit of hockey. And Mark, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Mark. How are you, mate?
I'm well. You must be delighted with the way the Hockeyroos and the Kookaburras are going. 4-2, the men over New Zealand, 1-0. Our Hockeyroos over Japan last night.
Yeah, very good, mate. We keep rolling. I think that was the big aim we spoke about last time, was for the teams to keep building on the confidence of the first two matches, to give themselves a true red-hot crack at the quarterfinals by getting the highest possible position you can in the groups. And you know, at the moment, both teams are in good positions. Obviously, the girls know, the Hockeyroos know they have their biggest two challenges to come in New Zealand tonight and Argentina tomorrow. So it doesn't get any easier, but it also gets more exciting.
Mark, from your experience in these tournaments at this level, do the teams at times, or is there a possibility or is there a danger of hitting a flat spot when you've been up on such a high to maintain that level throughout a whole tournament?
Oh, I think definitely, yeah. And even in the first half of last night's men's match, the Kookaburras, I think by their own admission, would have been a little bit flat, coming off those big matches against India and the Olympic champions Argentina. So that there was certainly a bit of flatness last night around the Kookaburras, but they know they face a big challenge in a team that absolutely loves playing them, Spain, who are fighting for their life tomorrow, just to make the quarters. So if they're asleep and if they're not ready, they have the ability to lose some momentum. And I think what we'll see with the Kookaburras is that's what the best teams in the world do. Hockeyroos, this is just an amazing time for them to be playing against the rivals, New Zealand, that they have such a fierce rivalry with. And then obviously tomorrow they get to play the number 2 team in the world. So for me, the mindset right now for both teams is actually in a really good place, really positive place, because they know that they can't let all of the good work slip.
We'll talk a little bit more about the men shortly. Matt Dawson is going to join us from Tokyo. We'll get him online, and played his 150th match for Australia yesterday, so we'll chat with him shortly. But just on the women, what has pleased you most about their performance so far?
Oh, I think a couple of things. The first thing is, Trini Powell as an attacking player herself in her amazing career as a player, she was looking for more goals, and certainly everybody is talking about the Hockeyroos and the opportunities that they're making, creating and finishing compared to what they might have done previously. That's been a massive positive, seeing girls inside the attacking circle, ready, willing to score, and just being in good areas. So that's a real positive. I think the other thing that the Hockeyroos have looked exceptional is their level of fitness. They've really worked hard, and I think they've outworked and outmuscled a number of the teams they've played so far. 3 games in 4 days, if you're still outworking your opponents, especially a home country like Japan, last night, then they're in a really good place. The other big part for the girls is they've been able to rotate, a couple of the players in and out to keep them fresh, who might have had small niggles or had come into the tournament with some injuries. And, we're seeing it in the men's matches today that a number of teams are rotating their players in and out to make sure they're ready for the knockout games in a couple of days. Mate, so I think they're the biggest two positives.
Yeah, we hear in a lot of sports, particularly at the Olympics, about recovery, and recovery is so important. What would the Hockeyroos and Kookaburras, what do they have to do to recover? As a player that's been through this, for those of us that don't understand or don't know, what is the recovery process from day to day when you're in an Olympic tournament?
Oh, yeah, the recovery is huge. So the big parts around recovery that we talk about, both Hockeyroos and Kookaburras, is obviously your stretch and roll recovery, like immediate recovery after a match. Stretching, rolling, compression pants, massage, ice baths recovery, hot-cold recovery. Then you get into the other big parts of recovery that are far more prevalent now than they ever have been before, around sleep and around nutrition. These elite athletes, they know what they put into their body after the matches in terms of their nutrition, healthy food, fluids is going to help them in days after. And I think we absolutely are one of the leading countries in the world in how we work with our athletes around recovery. And when you're playing 5 round matches in 7 days in this 35-degree heat and 75-80% humidity, recovery is as much as anything. And I think that's one of the big parts that both teams are working really hard on.